Next, we'd like to bring up my regional vice president from the Southwest region, Mr. Tim Smith.
Howdy. So, the event we're going to discuss tonight from the Southwest region, to me, is a perfect demonstration of controllers going above and beyond and performing their duties, particularly when it comes to safety. On February 25th, 2013, controllers at Houston TRACON observed an aircraft that had apparently taken off from Lake Jackson and had gotten above the clouds and was stuck above a thick overcast layer. The aircraft was circling in the area for roughly 2 hours, and it eventually got over where it was close to Houston Hobby. Nobody was talking to the aircraft. He was flying VFR. They saw this target flying around out there. So Stuart Piercy, who this year is celebrating 6 years with the FAA and 4 years at Houston TRACON, became concerned because he knew the weather forecast. This overcast layer was very thick, and it stretched 70 miles in any direction, and it wasn't predicted to be clearing up anytime soon. So he became concerned with this pilot and where he was going to land and whether he was going to run out of fuel or not. So he asked a Southwest jet to switch over to the Lake Jackson Unicom frequency and see if he could make contact with his aircraft and bring him back to his frequency. As a result, number 739er Foxtrot Zulu, Cessna 172, came to his frequency. He found that this aircraft had no GPS or navigational equipment on board, and really wasn't sure exactly where he was because there were no visual references due to the overcast layer. Fortunately, he found that the pilot had 2.5 hours of fuel on board, excuse me, which was a good thing. He ended up guiding the aircraft to the west. The very heavy wind out of the west that day, and he still, even with 2.5 hours, fuel was concerned getting this aircraft to an airport that was in VFR conditions without him running out of fuel. But fortunately, he was able to get him to Giddings Airport, which is roughly 130 miles from Houston Hobby Airport. Had Stuart not gone above and beyond, the results of this situation might have been drastically different. Let's watch the video.
Archie approach, this is Skyhawk 739 Foxtrot Zulu.
Number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, Houston approach.
Ellington, I am in a bit of a pickle here. I am a VFR pilot. I came into IFR conditions. I'm above the clouds, and
Number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, rudder squawk 0443 and ident.
Ellington, field line at 0443 on the transponder. Hey, Ellington, I'm on a westerly heading right now and approaching 6,000 feet.
Number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, rudder, you have radar contact about 10 miles to the northeast of the Ellington Field Airport. Altimeter is 2959er, and descend and maintain at 5,500.
Roger that. I am hoping to get back to LBX.
Number 9 Foxtrot Zulu, rudder, I don't believe we're going to be able to get you back into Lake Jackson right now because of the weather, but we'll see if we can find an area that has some VFR conditions for you.
Much appreciated. 9 Foxtrot Zulu.
Number 9 Foxtrot Zulu, you are cleared into Houston Class Bravo airspace. Just flighting 270 and maintain 5,500.
Heading 270, roger.
And number 739 Zulu, you are not IFR qualified, is that correct?
That is correct.
Number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, rudder, how much fuel do you have?
I've got half a tank in each wing, so I've got about 2.5 hours.
Skyhawk 9 Foxtrot Zulu, there is no airport in the Houston area that has VFR conditions. I did talk to the approach controllers over at Austin Approach, and they're VFR Austin. I think that's going to be our best bet, is to just go to the west. Everything to the east is IFR at the moment.
Roger that. I got to tell you, a very comforting guy. I was getting a little nervous up here.
And 9 Foxtrot Zulu, yep, that's no problem. We saw you out there, and just glad we were able to get a hold of you and help you out. I am a pilot. I fly about 200 hours a year. I've been flying about 10 or 12 years now, and have almost 2,000 hours of flight time.
17, we are IFR.
I got to tell you, your voice is very comforting. I was getting pretty nervous up here. Thank you so much.
That's what we're here for, sir. Skyhawk 9 Foxtrot Zulu. After about 30 more miles, you'll be on the back side of the front, or you'll be on the west side of the front that is moving through the area. And I suspect that once we get on the back side of the front that the weather will be improving some. So hopefully we'll be able to find a hole to descend down through to get down below these clouds.
Copy that. I'm chasing a little bit of valleys right now. It's a beautiful sky up here. It does look like it's going to be clearing out as I continue on. 9 Foxtrot Zulu.
Skyhawk 739 Foxtrot Zulu. I'm going to suggest you land at the Giddings Airport, which is about a heading of 290 in 25 miles.
290, roger that. Let me get down below these clouds.
9 Foxtrot Zulu, roger, maintain VFR. And again, if you can't get below the clouds, just let me know and we'll climb back up on top of them.
No, I'm in good shape. I'm able to break under them here in just about 300 to 500 feet.
Very good, thank you. Skyhawk 9 Foxtrot Zulu, you are below the clouds now, is that correct?
Roger that. And it's hazy, but looks like I'm well below the clouds. We'll be for some while.
Skyhawk 9 Foxtrot Zulu, the airport 12 o'clock and 10 miles, 10 miles.
Airport 10 miles, 9 Foxtrot Zulu.
Skyhawk 9 Foxtrot Zulu, just advise when you have the Giddings Airport in sight. Number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, no traffic between you and the Giddings Airport, radar service terminated, change to advice frequency approved.
One side note I wanted to bring up, next year when we do this award, we may have Stuart back here again. A couple of weeks ago, he had another aircraft that had an equipment outage, and he actually helped get that pilot on the ground as well. But before I bring, yes. Before I bring Stuart up here, I have a guest that would like to say a few words. The pilot of number 739 Foxtrot Zulu, Philip Cardenetz.
Thought a lot about this. I've talked to a lot of people about this event, but I talked to Stuart about this earlier today and Amy Treadle, and just going over it again, every time I talk about it, but to actually hear that again, it takes me quite aback. So let me get back into more regular mode. And thank you very much, Stuart Piercy. I was going to start off on a funny note and say that I'd like to thank the Academy. I always wanted to say that, especially with a crowd like this. If you screw up a little, you may find yourself picking up trash on the highway in an orange jumpsuit. You screw up royally, whew, you're playing the big room in Vegas. And I screwed up big time. Mr. Piercy went above and beyond to help get me and the plane back on the ground in one piece. Flying above the clouds, as I said some here, I have never been so comforted by the sound of a male's voice in my life. And while the FAA regulations may have no statute of limitations on stupidity, which I'm here to tell you they don't, I am here by the grace of God, and Mr. Stuart Piercy.
Without further ado, Stuart Piercy.
All right. I've been told a whole lot of things about my voice in my life, but never, comforting is not one of them. And so Jeff Woods, wherever he is around here somewhere, he likes to think that he needs to get a copy of Rosetta Stone to be able to understand me, he says, so whatever. Now, I was here last year, and it was, I mean, this thing is awesome. So Paul and Trish and everybody else that put this entire event on, I mean, kudos to you guys. This thing is great. I would have never thought that I'd be up here right now. So really, like they said, really honored to be here and, you know, humbled by the whole experience. It's been a great time. You know, I'd like to, you know, special kudos out to the TMC that day. KJ, he really helped get a lot of the weather stuff so that we could give it out to Philip and help get him back on the ground. But it was just a, you know, another day of excitement at Houston Traco. I never know what's going to go on there. So anyway, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.